Okay, so I spoke with our AI today, and it decided that even though I'm kind of tired and I did have a big day, that in order to meet our peak performance of doing a video often, it would be a good idea that I do it today. And so here we are. And let's see, one of my friends, his kid pointed out that my background makes me look like I'm in a spaceship. So yeah, this is a spaceship. And then what I heard today, I talked to him a little bit after and then found out it wasn't a spaceship, it was a helicopter. So also, yes, this is a helicopter. First off, market news brought to you by Prestige Worldwide. Oil is over $100, and I think I'm just gonna say I'm on the hype train for it going over no, yeah, over $200 before October. So I'm riding my e-bike a little bit more, and then now I can go fast without trying it all, and hopefully don't get hit by someone driving, which has happened to two people in my area in the last year. So wear your helmet and don't drive near roads, I guess, on your e-bike. Sports news: the Joker had a slam dunk in a losing effort, but he did dunk the ball. So I think honestly, we all win in that situation. Framework, I think it's called Framework, has created a PC laptop and it looks pretty legitimate. Looks like it's pretty sturdy made. I'd like to see one in person. You should check out their YouTube announcement. But here's the thing: it costs pretty much the same as a MacBook Air. So if you were looking for a laptop that's kind of nice, well, you've got that competition. However, the upside is you can replace the parts and improve it on your own. You don't need to like buy a brand new one. So I think if you're going this route, you should install Linux, and you can escape the Copilot micro slop brought to you by Windows 11. And if you're ready to get out of MacBook locked in for all the crap that you can't replace, like a battery, then boom, go check out Framework. And that is not a pitch. That thing actually looks cool. So everyone's complaining, and I keep reading, and obviously this is down like the silo machine of looking through your own YouTube stuff. However, kids can't read anymore. And I get it because I was recently part of the problem. I just used ChatGPT the other day to take a picture of a Pokemon game so that ChatGPT could read the dialogue out to my kid because I was too lazy to teach him to read it himself. Now the big thing there is he can't read and he's still pretty young. So jokes on everybody here. He was able to read, and then I realized this is bad, and I took my phone away so that he doesn't continue doing that, and then tell his teachers that why would he need to learn how to read. But here's the thing: this also brings up a different issue with the other kid. Some kids need more screen time. So here's what happened: our 6 year old had to take a learning readiness test, and it happened on a tablet. He had to do it on a tablet. We work really hard to make sure that our kids don't have a ton of screen time, and it's terrible for kids. And you'll find that like in anything you look at, that it's going to be our kids smoking, is that everybody says, well, don't do it, it can be kind of bad for you, and then it turns out to be terrible for you. However, that's really hard. So if you're a parent, I think try a little harder. It's difficult. I We've gotten worse and worse as we gone, but the kids have also gotten older. So I think we try to limit handheld in front of their face screen time to under an hour, and that's particularly the one who just loves Pokemon. And it's hard to discourage your kid from becoming a Pokemon master. So my other kid, he can't open YouTube. He can't open Disney Plus. He doesn't know how. And he's not like secretly gifted. He's not like, oh, he would have done great on the test. If he's a genius, he probably would have figured out what an iPad does. He's just a normal kid. So he came home from the iReadiness test, and that's what they call them, is iReadiness or something like that. And he said, it's hard because I couldn't figure out what to press. And then the teacher came over to help me, and apparently also the teacher didn't know what he pressed, so couldn't fix it for him. So he didn't do as well as maybe possible. Again, he's just a normal kid, not because he didn't understand things and wasn't ready to, take the test or learn or see how well he can read. He doesn't understand the interface. So our schools essentially think that, we want to teach and learn and figure out how to teach these kids and not do it with a bunch of touch screens. And he's been graded on his ability to navigate through a touch screen. And again, we know those are kind of the problem. So the technology has created a barrier for one 6 year old and something that we're trying to actively get them away from. And I don't know if the solution is like, hey, we have to push hard towards paper, but there is something to get, some serious like thought around. I think for me, it's been like in my head, like, that's interesting about, what level of interaction with screens and technology do people need? Do our kids and students need? So it's not a super easy problem, and I think more is on the side of the educator, right? Like the teacher, I just try to call them educators in general because there's a huge range. They're going to have to struggle with it because they've got to try and find the best way. Again, this is common all the problems in the world for everybody working to help a lot of students at once and not just the like 2 out of 20 in the class who can't use a tablet, something like that. And that's the big one on my mind today is why does my kid not know how to use a tablet? And are we kind of failing our kids in both ways that we're not teaching them enough technology while giving them way too much screen time?